And if you go back and look at the events that happened after 1971, when Nixon took us off the last vestige of the gold standard, well, everybody thought the world's going to collapse, the money's going to completely collapse. In 1979, there was a Pulp Fiction book called The Crash of 79 that I read back in 1979, and it was about currency and monetary wars. And what do? They figured out a way to kick the can down yet a few more decades. Now we're faced with the same thing today. Guess what? It could happen tomorrow. It may be happening right now, and it could be 50 years from now. And that's the darn thing about knowing Austrian economics. You know the what, you'll never know the when. So my belief is that the when will come with a whoosh, and it'll probably be announced on a Sunday night. I look for different indicators. One of the things that I find disturbing right now is Bank of America has advertisements on their new ATM machines that will accept dollar bills into it. Now, I ask myself this question. At a gas station or at a car wash, I get it. No problem. Dollar bills go in. But why would you ever have a bank that takes dollar bills in? If you're a business owner, you don't stand in an ATM and shove, hundreds of dollars of bills in from your cash registers in one day. I have to believe that there's some kind of organized understanding that we are going to be converting to a new money. And that this would be an orderly way. You come in and you bring in your new dollars and you'll get your new Ameros or Unitas or Bancors or whatever they're going to call them. So I think that they definitely could kick the can down the road a little bit. So how would we transition into a gold standard? I mean, first of all, I think it basically requires two things. It requires a collapse of the existing system and a broad-scale knowledge on the populace to do so. Because otherwise, if you want to see what happens after a collapse, look at the Soviet Union. They don't necessarily go to a much better thing right away. I mean, Zimbabwe's has collapsed. They're using the U.S. dollar currently while they try to kickstart their next fiat money. Unless broad-scale education occurs, and that I think requires consciousness shifting, I don't think you're going to get a big change. So I actually think it could be hundreds of years from now, personally. But I do believe that it'll happen because the legacy of all of us, particularly you guys, because you're young enough that you're going to have your whole life. The headwind I fought, I have to say, I'm so excited that you guys have this knowledge because at this particular time, you are so better suited to understand it. I learned and then later taught negotiation theory back in the 80s. And there's a basic principle in negotiation theory that a tactic perceived is a tactic disarmed. Well, it's not quite true. Because a tactic that you perceive, while you can see it, kind of like a kung fu move you see happening, well, maybe you're smart enough and fast enough that you can counterbalance it and counteract it, but maybe not either. All that it does is it gives you an advantage. But that advantage is significant, and you do need to know it. And the deeper you get into this, the deeper your advantage is going to be. So that's as much as we could do right now. Anybody else have a question? Let's turn the floor open. Sure, Zach.
You mentioned investing in gold and silver.
Yeah.
And, for going into the market right now, is maybe the first time investing, would you say that there's going to be a retrenchment from these levels because there's been a huge run-up this year, or do you think prices are here to stay and the dollar is going to continue to weaken from this point? I know it's hard in the short term, but long term.
Yeah, it's a really, really good question. Well, I wish I knew for certain. I think short term that we're going to see a little correction. I think it could happen in the course of the next month. 2 months. I think by the end of the year we're going to see 1,500 gold. Shortly after that, I think 1,700 gold, sometime between now and June of next year, 2,000 by a year plus from now. It could all be much, much higher. There's a lot of dynamics out there. First of all, If you don't know it, you should know, gata.org. That is GATA.org. That is the Gold Action, can't remember the entire translation of the acronym. But these volunteer people have been tracking the manipulation of gold in silver markets for many years, and they finally got their day in front of Congress at the CFTC, or I should say the CFTC, in March 25th. And March 25th, the head of this outfit went ahead and testified in front of Congress, and the punchline is that the manipulation of the silver market in particular was revealed. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.